The top 10 decks for March will be ranked based on LimitlessTCG.com's point system, which positions each archetype based on how well they have performed in recent major events. Please note that the standard format will rotate all Regulation Mark E cards out of format on April 4th, so keep this in mind if you're just getting into the game and building decks. Let's begin with the 10th best deck, Chien Excalibur. Chien has racked up plenty of tournament results to prove its relevance in the meta, including 14th at Liverpool, 16th at Knoxville, and 1st place at Dirtman Regionals. Chien EX leads the deck as the main attacker with Hailblade, which stands to knock out anything in the game in just one swing. Excalibur's super cold ability supplies endless water energies not only for Chien, but also for the deck's other attackers, Radiant Greninja and Iron Hands EX. Radiant Greninja is an especially good attacker against decks like Charizard and Gardevoir, which have low HP Pokemon to knock out simultaneously, and you'll often see Canceling Cologne included in Chien lists to turn off Manaphy's Wave Veil so Moonlight Shuriken can get through. Iron Hands EX adds the invaluable utility of taking one extra prize card when Very Much knocks out a Pokemon, which is especially good against decks with single prize attackers such as Lawson Box and Gardevoir. Bibarel has become the mainstay draw support option for this deck, leaving you less susceptible to Iono or Roxanne in the late game. Number 9 is Rapid Strike Urshifu Inteleon. Rapid Strike's accomplishments in this format include 6th at Stuttgart, 9th at San Antonio, and 15th at Portland, with its success winding down as the format has matured. This deck focuses on the Rapid Strike archetype of cards released in the later Sword and Shield sets, including Inteleon VMAX, Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, Octillery, and Rapid Strike Energy as some of the key cards. These Pokemon fail to do large chunks of damage and instead spread damage on multiple Pokemon at a time, with Inteleon VMAX's Double Gunner and Urshifu VMAX's Gmax Rapid Flow. In spite of a low damage output, this archetype is threatening in its own way, with Radiant Alakazam to move damage around, Technical Machine De-Evolution to devolve your opponent's Pokemon, and of course Medicham V. Medicham V has the Yoga Loop attack, which places a measly 2 damage counters, but rewards you with an entire extra turn if this attack KOs a Pokemon. The 8th best deck is Snorlax Stall, and you shouldn't stall around when it comes to pre-ordering Temporal Forces from PokeCollect.com. In addition to great prices and fast shipping on brand new products, PokeCollect has a selection of Japanese sealed products to choose from for those looking for a new pack opening experience. Make sure to use code CELIO5 at checkout for 5% off. Coupon codes and affiliate links are in the description down below. Thanks for supporting my channel at PokeCollect, PotownStore.com for all of your Pokemon TCG live code card needs, Dragon Shield sleeves for the best card accessories in the game, and Into the AM for unique and comfortable clothing. Now, back to the video. There are 2 variants of Snorlax in the current standard format. We have Snorlax Stall, which focuses on Snorlax's block ability and trapping your opponent's support Pokemon in the active, forcing them to use switching resources until they run out and are left to lose by decking out. On the other variant, we have Snorlax Pidgeot-EX, which is more of a control style deck rather than Stall, using Pidgeot-EX's quick search to find the best card for any scenario turn after turn, and relying much less on mindlessly blocking with Snorlax. Snorlax Stall placed 5th at San Antonio, 10th at Charlotte, and 4th in Liverpool, while the Pidgeot version has slightly less impressive results, but is also deemed much harder to pilot. The 7th best deck is Miraidon EX. Miraidon won the first Paradox Rift legal event, which was LAIC. Yuho's list was fairly representative of the average Miraidon deck list early in the format. As time went on, Miraidon deck lists steered more and more towards aggression with Peony as the main supporter of the deck. With Peony involved, it has become much easier to guarantee turn 1 Very Much, which can take the lead early enough to steal the game. Miraidon EX's tandem unit provides unique consistency, being able to set up your board with minimum requirements. In addition to winning LAIC, Miraidon decks placed 2nd at Stuttgart and 4th at Charlotte Regionals. Number 6 is Roaring Moon EX. Roaring Moon took some time to establish itself as a top-performing archetype. The community had high hopes for this deck's debut at LAIC, only for its highest placement to be 90th place after having a good showing in Day 1. Roaring Moon found its footing at Charlotte Regionals, with more than 20 instances of the deck in Day 2, and Ross Cawthon taking it all the way to 7th place. Roaring Moon EX is an extremely powerful card, boasting 230 HP, an attack that does 220 damage, and a second attack that instantly KOs anything, all on a basic Pokemon. Roaring Moon EX racked up an impressive amount of placements over the course of this format, becoming one of the premier aggressive decks the meta has to offer. The 5th best archetype is Lost Zone Box, and there are several variants of this deck. All Lost Zone Box decks function by putting cards into the Lost Zone with some combination of Comfey's Flower Selecting, Chorus's Experiment, and Lost Vacuum. From there, this unlocks Cramorant's Lost Provisions ability, Mirage Gate, and Sableye's Lost Mine Attack. Let's start with Turbo Lost Zone Box, piloted by Dean Nizam to 2 top 32s and Tim Franklin to top 8 at Melbourne Regionals. This list uses the typical attackers Cramorant, Greninja, and Sableye, in addition to 3 Rulebox attackers, Dragonite V, Iron Hands EX, and Roaring Moon EX. Because Mirage Gate can accelerate energies quite efficiently, this allows Lost Zone decks to use several different strong attackers. A slight variation from Turbo Lost Zone is Lost Zone Kyogre, piloted by Aiden Koos to 2nd place at Knoxville Regionals. This variant offers Kyogre's Aqua Storm as an explosive option to close out games, typically being the win con against decks like Mew VMAX, Miraidon, and Roaring Moon, which have plenty of multi-prize Pokemon on the board and typically no way to protect their bench. Next is Lost Zone Glasses, which uses super effective glasses to make this toolbox of attacking options even more potent against their desired matchups. Minior counters Snorlax, Iron Hands EX, and Miraidon. Galarian Moltres V is an efficient attacker against dark weak Pokemon like Mew VMAX and Gardevoir EX. Roaring Moon shares Darkness type with Galarian Moltres V, but offers a one-hit knockout option against anything with Frenzied Gouging. Tropius can one-shot Charizard EX with super effective glasses. Mew EX is draw support and a good attacking option, especially versus Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX and Giratina V-Star, and Iron Hands EX is especially useful against single prize Pokemon that are within knockout range of Ampy very much. Lastly, for Lost Zone variants is Sablezard, which Alex Szymanski placed top 8 with at Charlotte Regionals. Lost Zone Sablezard focuses on 3 efficient attackers, Sableye, Cramorant, and Radiant Charizard. Because of this streamlined build of cheap attackers, this variant plays much less energy and only 1 Mirage Gate, which is very different from the other Lost Zone decks. This deck aims to outtrade most decks by using only single prize Pokemon. The 4th best deck is Mew VMAX. Mew VMAX has been an incredibly strong archetype and will be leaving the format in April. It's put up an impressive list of accomplishments in the Paradox Rift standard format, including 8th and 3rd at Portland and 1st place at Liverpool Regionals. The Fusion Strike variant plays 4 Fusion Strike Energy and 2 Alessa's Sparkle to power up single prize attackers Meloetta and Ice-Q, which the DTE version does not include. DTE Mew has adapted to include low counts of Fusion Strike Energy and Alessa's Sparkle, mostly for the protection Fusion Strike Energy provides to Genesect V, stopping the likes of Spiritom's Fettered and Misfortune ability from shutting down Genesect's Fusion Strike system. Mew VMAX has high HP, copies Genesect V's Technoblast for just a double turbo energy, and has a lot of support available, including Power Tablets, Box of Disaster, and the incredible drawing power of Genesect's Fusion Strike system to find all the pieces you need. Coming in at number 3 is Gardevoir EX. While today's top 10 is based on tournament results, I'd place Gardevoir in the number 1 spot if this was an opinion-based list. Gardevoir EX has had an incredible quarter. 3rd place LAIC, 1st place Brisbane, 4th place Portland, 3rd place Charlotte, 1st place Knoxville, and 3rd place Melbourne. Gardevoir functions differently than most decks in Standard, since it needs a couple of turns to set up and establish a board of multiple evolution Pokemon. Gardevoir EX powers up your attackers with Psychic Embrace, and can even be a solid attacker itself. Zacian V and Shining Arcana Gardevoir are your one-hit KO machines, while Screamtail and Cresselia offer more tactical approaches to picking off weaker Pokemon or softening high HP Pokemon. Number 2 is Charizard EX. The most popular and successful variant of Charizard has been Charizard Pidgeot, but looking to April's standard format rotation, the Bibarel variant seems promising as well. Charizard dominated the San Antonio Regionals event, with more than 40 players converting into Day 2, and Dazul GG winning the event. Charizard is one of the most powerful Pokemon cards ever printed, with 330 HP, an ability that sets itself up, and an attack that maxes out at 330 damage without external damage modifications. This monstrous Pokemon is supported by Pidgeot EX, which can search for any card once a turn. There aren't many decks that can stand up to an established board of 2 Charizards and a Pidgeot, since Charizard is self-efficient, and Pidgeot EX can find gust effects or damage mods when needed. Finally, the number 1 deck in standard format is Giratina V-Star. This archetype's placements speak for themselves, with 2nd place San Antonio, 1st place Portland, 1st place Charlotte, 2nd place Liverpool, and 1st place Melbourne. This has been the most winning deck of the format. Giratina V-Star is so good because it virtually has no bad matchups. It has a very neutralized matchup spread, allowing players to express their skill and precision to carefully maneuver any situation. Giratina uses the power of the Lost Zone cards to dig through the deck and build large hands with plenty of options. Giratina V's Abyss Seeking smooths out the early turns, and also has Shred, which is actually the main attack used against the Snorlax Stall deck. Giratina V-Star has 2 incredible attacks, one dealing 280, and the other offering an instant KO option. Giratina threatens disruption in the late game with the powerful combo of Roxanne plus Path to the Peak, which can often stop many decks right in their tracks. I hope you enjoyed today's countdown of the top 10 decks in standard format. Be sure to subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content and follow the links in the description below if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching here on Celio's Network.